it's Lauren. Today we're going to be talking about some new purchases that I made from Victoria Beckham Beauty, one of which is the matte bronzing brick, which I finally ordered, one of the Bitten lip tints, the new one in the shade Amour, a lip definer in the shade 02, and where did it go? Tea Rose Lid Lustre. So, most of these are repurchased items in new shades for me, which I'm actually very excited about. And I don't know what says I love a product or formula more than purchasing more of the same type of formula. So I hope that can be a testament to all of you about how much I really do love Victoria Beckham Beauty. But since this beautiful baby is brand new, we're gonna start with that. So this is the matte bronzing brick. This comes in 5 different shades and it retails for $58. What makes this particular product so special is the fact that it's refillable. And so if you look up here, you've got this little indentation where you can pop the pan out whenever you are done with it. So I ordered the shade 1, which is quite light. If you notice, that lighter pan is actually very, very similar to some of my powder foundations. It's really not far off. In fact, it's almost identical, okay? So realistically, I could have gotten shade 2, but I really wanted something that I could almost apply in my sleep and that's also going to look really good on me regardless of the season. So what I can do, I'll show you. I'll do a quick little swatch on my arm so you can get an idea of what these look like. This is barely even gonna show up, okay? It just adds a little bit of a warmth to my skin. It just kicks it up a notch compared to just a powder for me. And then I'm gonna use the deeper shade here and I'll go right below that. And it just adds a little dimension, a little bit of extra warmth. And really that's all I wanted because so often with my bronzers, I end up getting shades that are a little too dark and they take a lot of effort and work to blend out to look natural. And so I just really wanted something that I could almost just apply with my eyes closed, not have to worry about it. So that's why I grabbed shade 1. So what I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna use a big fluffy brush. We'll dip into this lighter shade first so I can give you a little insight of what that looks like. Because like I said, I really could have gone with shade 2, but I did not. So you can see it barely shows up on my skin, right? But it does add a little extra warmth, which is what I was going for. So what I'm actually gonna do is mix these two together because it gives me a really, really nice shade. The formula of this is just, it's so silky, and I had a feeling it would be because I love their eyeshadow palette, their little signature brick. But the formula of this is so finely milled. It just looks like porcelain on your skin. I just think that this is such a beautiful bronzer. I really, really love this. So I'm just gonna mix the two and really kind of apply that all over. And I'm gonna make sure to get my hairline because I don't like when I have like a really bright hairline and scalp compared to a bronzer. But look how natural that looks, and it actually works really well with my skin tone. So as I'm doing this, you may notice I already have my base makeup on and a bit of blush. I just wanted to be able to dive right into this and not waste time. But I just think that this is such a beautiful, beautiful bronzer. Really, really happy with this purchase. And I'm actually really happy with the shade that I chose. And I also think too, for a more kind of contoured effect, I'm gonna just take my brush and kind of pinch it and dip into this darker shade and just kind of pop onto the hollows. It's a really great shade actually for contouring because it's not overly warm. The pan number 2, look at that, just kind of pops just a little more. The shade number 2 looked a little more warm and kind of almost like had a slight red undertone, which can look really great and really natural. But I really think that this is such a great bronzer for fair to light skin tones. And for good measure, we'll pop a little down here. Make everything nice and cohesive. But like, boom, my face now matches my body. That's really what I use bronzer for, because my face is so much more fair than the rest of me. Also, something to note, which is kind of hilarious, because this has a magnet, things will stick to it. I just like set it down on my vanity and it was like, boop. Just so you know. Okay, let's move into the Lid Lustre. Now, there are 6 shades of these total. I have blonde and mink. And so this time I got the shade Tea Rose. These retail for $36. Oh, tell me that's not beautiful. I have wanted this shade for quite some time now. I always held off for one reason or another. I have a visitor. My cat's in here with me. If you hear meowing, don't be alarmed. So I've always kind of wanted this shade though, because it has that sort of like plummy undertone that I like so much with my eye color. I have green eyes, and so this type of color always just really makes them pop. So I've talked about this before with the Lid Lustres. I like to apply them mostly with my fingers. So I'm going to start with that today, and then I'll use a brush to kind of blend it out. So I'll just dip in like this. These are so great. They have like this metallic kind of finish. I just think they're so beautiful. And they're very easy to work with. I feel like I've had several friends that have had this shade, and for some reason, like a lot of them just like felt like it wasn't what they wanted it to be on them. And I think this is kind of one of those shades that can really kind of pull differently on everyone. I personally adore it. I think it is so beautiful. This is like my ideal kind of like one and done. It just works really well with my eye color. It works really well with my skin tone. And it's so easy to apply. It's just got that little bit of plum undertone. It's got the gold shimmer. I love this. And something I kind of recently discovered was that my Jones Road Beauty, the blending brush, does a pretty decent job of picking up and laying down sort of cream-ish shadows. This is not a cream formula. It's a very unique formula in that it's kind of like it's almost like a cream powder hybrid. So I'm just gonna go above where I used my finger and really just start to buff that out. I used this brush though with the shade Mink, and I was like, whoa, like that laid down way more product than I thought it would. It's so sparkly. Absolutely love. It is everything I hoped it would be. I'm actually also going to take a smaller defining brush, and I'm gonna dip that into here. And I want to put some under my eyes today. I didn't do this yesterday, but I really want to try it today. That extra little twinkle. I think if you're really looking for an eyeshadow, like a good one and done, and you want something that's a lot of bang for your buck, you like glamour. Sorry. I think these are fantastic. Okay. We're gonna say hello. This is Beanie. She has been very needy as we've been getting ready to move. She's just been very, I think, aware of the changes in our house because there's not a lot in here anymore. And so she needs all the love. Yeah. All right. But yeah, I just think this shade is all that in a bag of chips. And I am so happy that I finally got it because it's just so easy to wear and it looks good. Yeah, I really love it. So the thing to know with these is you want to make sure that you keep this little plastic stopper in here. It keeps the formula from drying out. Like I said, it's not a cream per se, it's kind of a hybrid product. So it's important to keep it from drying out so you get the most out of it. But oh God, it's so beautiful. This is a product I've already had. But I'm also going to use the eyeliner in the shade Bordeaux because I just kind of feel like that plays really well with the shade Tea Rose. So I'm gonna apply a little bit of this today. I personally really love this color with my eye color. I just think it adds that little extra kick, and it's something that's kind of a fun change from like brown or black. I'm actually gonna do a tiny bit on the bottom too, outside of my waterline. Just mostly on those outer corners, and I'll smudge it inwards. And so these also do have a smudger on the end. Just kind of give a little like hazy effect. Ta-da. Put on some mascara, be right back. All right, we're back. So I put on Victoria Beckham Beauty Future Lash. I also put on a little bit of a highlight from Phytosurgence, in case you were wondering. But I was thinking about something, and this look went from 0 to 100 real fast with this eye look. And the best part of it, it's literally 3 eye products. Like, it's the lid luster, it's the eyeliner and mascara, and boom, bada bing, bada boom, done. So dramatic, so in your face, and not complicated to do. I don't think that really great makeup needs to be complicated. I think that you just have to have the right products. And I am going to be that person who 110% all the time, like after this pandemic, I told my husband the other day, I was like, every single day I'm going to be that person that's a little over the top, because I'm celebrating coming out on the other side of this whole thing, and I like glamour, so we're gonna just do it big all the time. Okay, so let's use the lip definer in shade 2. There are 7 shades of this total, and this retails for $26. So shade 2 is like kind of this like nudie type of color. It's not overly warm, it's not overly cool, it's really just kind of like somewhere in between, and it's not overly dark either. You can layer this up though, and it can start to look dark really fast. So for me personally, a light hand is better for this. You can see it's just it's a little more brown than my lips. It's not quite as like brown mocha as Khaki from Thrive, but this is really, it's a nice color, a nice kind of base, and it has a little more warmth than Khaki. You can see though, if you layer over it again, it really does build that color up. Very pretty though. You'll also notice, normally I fill my lips in when I'm using a lip liner. I'm not today because of the Bitten lip tint. I actually want it to stain my lips. Look at the difference of that though. From, I mean, I love these lip liners. I have the shade 3, which is much more like pink. I love having the shade 2. Having the shade 2, too. Love this color. Love the formula. It's so good. So now we're gonna put on the Bitten lip tint in the shade Amour, which is the new shade. It's kind of a nude, peachy kind of color is what they said. So I have the shade Sherry. There are 3 shades of these total. These are $36. So I'm gonna swatch them out real quick so you have an idea what they look like. This is the shade Sherry, and you can see it is beautiful, kind of like a pinky rose kind of color. This usually is like a My Lip but better kind of color. So Amour is much more kind of a brown peach undertone, and also can have a very like nude looking effect. It's just a different tint. So I think that's kind of what you need to know about it. Depends on what look you're going for, but it's still going to give you a very kind of natural look. It's not going to be an overpowering lip color. So I like this formula a lot. I like having a lip liner on with it. It really just kind of adds the structure to my lips that I'm looking for. These lip tints are great because if you're someone who has a really pale natural lip, I think these are great for adding a little bit of color back, and they're really great as like a base for underneath other colors too. I'll layer this up a bit more. This is a beautiful color for summer, by the way. And from my understanding, this is one that a lot of people were asking for, and they listened and they made it. Beautiful, beautiful color though. So what I'm gonna do is let this dry down just a little bit and then top it with a little bit of gloss. I just find with this formula, you can wear it on its own. It's got hyaluronic acid, but I am someone who needs like a balm or like something on my lips. That's just how I am. So I'm gonna let this dry down and then put a little bit of something on top of it. All right, so I popped on some Strawberry Lana Lips over top of this. It's just a clear formula because I didn't wanna cover it up with something that was gonna shift the tone, but it just kind of like makes it pop a little bit more and it just feels really good on my lips. So this is today's final look with my new Victoria Beckham Beauty products. I hope that you've enjoyed this. If you've been on the fence, you've been kind of curious about what shades to order, I hope that this was helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps people find my channel and I can continue making this kind of content for you. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.